Senior boxing reporter Kevin Iole of Yahoo Sports has released the pay-per-view numbers from this past weekend's ESPN Plus pay-per-view showdown between Terence Crawford and Showtime Shawn Porter. The bout did approximately 190,000 pay-per-view buys. Now, for those that obviously kept up with the welterweight division, it was no secret that this bout was going to be difficult to even surpass or even get close to 200,000 pay-per-views. We have to remember that 2 weeks ago, the pound-for-pound king Canelo Alvarez fought on pay-per-view, in which it had been roughly about 3 or 4 years since he's fought on pay-per-view. And I think that, it being so close to the holidays, and also it being 2 weeks after Canelo made history becoming the first super middleweight undisputed world champion, I think that really affected the numbers. Now, if we remember, Terence Crawford has fought twice on pay-per-view, which one of them was on ESPN, and of course the other one was on HBO, in which both numbers didn't do so great. It was rumored that in Crawford's first pay-per-view outing, where Viktor Postol on HBO did roughly between 50 to 90,000 pay-per-view buys. His second outing, which was of course with Amir Khan on ESPN, did roughly 120 to 130,000 pay-per-views. Now, Shawn Porter, who has fought on pay-per-view, of course, was the WBC champion when he faced IBF champion Errol Spence Jr. in a unification title fight in 2019, in September of 2019. But we have to remember that Errol Spence Jr. was coming off another pay-per-view outing when he faced Mikey Garcia, selling over 330,000 pay-per-views. Now, rumors had mentioned that with Porter and Errol Spence doing roughly 225 to 250,000 pay-per-view buys. Now, a lot of boxing enthusiasts, boxing fans were really taking a look at these numbers because, number one, Terence Crawford was at the end of his contract with Top Rank. And you also have to keep in mind that from a negotiating standpoint, they have to see what those numbers were going to be with him and Porter in order for Crawford to attempt to generate some sort of leverage in attempting to put a fight with Errol Spence Jr. in the near future. But 190,000 pay-per-view buys, it is respectable, but it's nowhere near the amount that they needed to hit in order for them to generate monies. Now, if you factor in that it was on ESPN Plus, you needed to have a monthly subscription in order to even order the pay-per-view, which, a lot of fight fans weren't happy about that. Bob Arum, CEO of Top Rank Boxing, said that with ESPN's platform, them having over 11 million subscribers that were subscribed to ESPN Plus, they were projecting to get roughly between 4 to 5% of those users. Now, 4 or 5% equals roughly between 400,000 to 500,000 pay-per-view buys. I know he's gone on record and said that with this fight and with the publicity that they were getting, they were looking in hopes of selling between 500,000 to close to 1 million pay-per-view buys. Now, of course, a lot of people are not dishing out $69.99 plus tax on top of a monthly subscription that they needed to pay. So it was going to be a very difficult ball game, especially ending the year with several more other pay-per-view bouts as well as other fights on other platforms. George Kambosos, Teofimo Lopez. You even have, of course, Jojo Diaz and Devin Haney that was going to be featured on DAZN. You have Tank Davis, Isaac Cruz, that was another Showtime pay-per-view bout. So, I mean, it's just, we also have to remember in October, we also had Wilder versus Fury. And, of course, a lot of boxing fans, especially around the holidays, have a little bit of tighter budgets when it comes to, dishing out pay-per-views. But again, I want to hear what you guys think. Terence Crawford himself said that he's no longer going to be, of course, obligated to Top Rank, that he's a free agent. He wants to move on with his career. But it's going to be yet to be determined on where he's going to go. Is he going to go with PBC and Al Heyman in hopes to securing a fight with Errol Spence Jr., potentially Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia, or any of the other welterweights such as Yurandis Ugas, who's the WBA champion? Time will tell. But the 190,000 pay-per-view number is not really a good start. I want to hear what you guys think. Is Terence Crawford, should he fight on pay-per-view next, or should he, find a network such as DAZN, or even continuously keep fighting on Showtime Boxing or ESPN. I want to hear what you guys think. Again, it's your boy Jimmy Blue, Mr. All Access Elite Boxing, signing off.